Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Sharida. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Today's video, you guys, is going to be 10 things I wish they would have told me about getting Sisterlocks. Now, as we all know, Sisterlocks has its pros and its cons, but there are just some things I did not anticipate. So that is what this video is going to be about today. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, number one on this list, and when I tell you this was very, very bad when I first got my locks installed, is you're going to have serious hand and hair syndrome. I don't know what it is about these little curly, tiny locks, but I'm always like doing stuff like this and running my fingers through them and pick. I mean, that cannot be good for my hair. I know that. I know. I'm trying to cut it out, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better about it. And I was never like a hand and hair type of girl before I got these. That is what was so strange to me. Um, yeah, hand and hair syndrome gets very real. So if you already have it before you lock your hair, it's probably going to get worse. So I wish they would have told me that, okay? Okay, so number two on this list is growth is going to be very slow motion, okay? And it's not going to seem apparent. When my hair was relaxed, I could see and witness the growth every single relaxer, okay? Provided that I was taking care of it and I wasn't getting any breakage. You could see the length accumulating month after month after month. When I went loose natural, okay, the growth, you could see it every several months. I mean, it definitely wasn't anything you can pick up on, every 2 or 3 months, but every 6 months, definitely a year. Like you could see the growth. These, I feel like it takes forever to see any growth in your hair, especially when you started out with long hair, because your hair is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking up into the lock. So whatever's is growing out the root. We know that because I gotta go for reties every month, but I'm telling you, the growth just seems so slow. Right now, I am I think I'll be 2 years in June. Yeah, I'll be 2 years in June. And I just feel like I thought my hair would be completely locked and much longer. Okay. If you saw where I started at, 2 years, like that's a lot of hair that you've accumulated in 2 years, but it's not showing up here. I don't see it. I think I feel like my hair has gotten a little longer. But I mean, I put up pictures so you'll see the difference, but it's just crazy how the growth is not apparent, but it is growing. Bummer, because I love length. Okay, number three is you will get all the little white bulbs and they're going to be, oh, stop. You're going to get all those little white bulbs around the edges and you're not really going to be able to do anything about it. So it's always going to look like if you're out in the sun and someone is like all up in your face and in your head, you're going to look like you got stuff in your hair. But it's your hair follicles. It's the shedded, like the little white bulbs that you get once, your hair completes a full cycle of growth and it sheds from the follicle. You're going to have those and they're going to be quite apparent around the edges here. And I do not like that. Gosh, like you can't see from here. But if we were like out in bright sun and you were like really like you could see all these little itty bitty white bulbs. I guess you could color your hair. I don't know, but I'm not gonna color it just for that. It's nothing you can see, at a good, 6 foot distance, which is what you should have because we're still dealing with COVID. But I just wish I had known that before I got my Sisterlocks because I had no idea. And yeah, can't really do anything about it. Okay, another thing is I wish that someone would have told me you really cannot stretch out your reties. When they say you can't stretch out your reties, you need to listen, okay? I went, I think, an extra 2 weeks from my normal schedule, and the amount of marrying, I could not fathom going 8 weeks without a retie. I mean, yeah. They didn't tell me that. Like, people mention, oh, you need to stay on schedule. No, you really need to stay on your schedule. Whatever your consultant tells you, I would say stick with that. You can experiment, go a week or two extra, see how your hair does with stretching it out. But my hair just really could not tolerate it because I have very fine hair. So as it grows out, it's just automatically starting to look fine a lock, and it gets in there. And it's like I have to go through and make sure that I'm separating my hair as I'm supposed to, because what I don't want to do is sit in that chair and she's having to break the hairs that are conjoined apart herself, because I feel like no one is going to be as gentle in that process as you will be with your own hair. Now, I've shared in other videos about my journey. I had like literally bald edges like for years. This is well before I got locked. And so I had a hair transplant, $8,000. Okay. Had to pay serious money to have my edges restored. So for me, taking care of this area, making sure that there is no unnecessary breakage anywhere, is very important to me. So yeah, you cannot stretch out those reties. Okay. Do it at your own risk. Now, it could be detrimental as far as contracting some alopecia, tension alopecia, just depending on how rough your consultant is with your hair. You just have to weigh the pros and cons, because if you got someone that's going too often for retightenings and their consultant is rough, that could lead to a problem. On the flip side, if you're stretching them out too long, locks can, these are so small, they can start growing apart from the actual, base of your hair, and you can get thinning locks. So yeah, what a tangle web we weave with these sister locks. It's like a fine line on how to care for these. It really is. Okay, now number 5 on this list is, they didn't tell me that I would instantly think that I was just like the shiznai. Like, as soon as I got these, I felt beautiful. To wake up, okay, and you look stunning every day. No one told me, okay? No one told me. And I almost felt like people would make it seem like, oh, when you're getting, close to reties, you're gonna start to feel like a little unattractive, a little. No. Okay, I'm going for a retie tomorrow, and I still look so fresh, polished, put together. Now, you think about what your mindset of, before you need a relaxer, or right before it's wash day when you're natural, like, you start to feel some type of way about your hair and the way it looks, and it feels and looks unkept. I don't have that with these. I look flawless by the head every day. I wish someone had told me, because I'm feeling myself like 10, 15 times more than what I ever thought I would. I love it. I love just, if someone calls me, they want to go out, I don't have to think about my hair. I don't have to decline. I can't tell you how many dates I've declined, like short spur of the moment stuff, because my hair is not together. Like, and if you're loose natural, ain't no, let me just go in here and no, it's got to be washed. That takes hours. Okay. For me, it took hours for a wash day, and there is nothing that I can just do on a whim and just be ready to go out the door. This, I don't have that worry. I love, love, love the convenience of having my sister locks and looking flawless always. Okay. No one told me that people will stop you in I'm talking about any circumstance. If they have a question about your locks, they're gonna ask you. I've been at checkout lines. People have stopped and asked multiple questions, like literally holding up a whole grocery line because they need information about this hair. I have been on domestic calls mid arrest. Okay. I'm a police officer, if you didn't know. People will stop. Like, what are those? Like, how much did you pay? They will have all kind of questions. It doesn't matter what is going on in the world. People are going to stop you and ask you about your hair. I was leaving a restaurant one day. A lady darted out of the door, like from the restaurant where she was sitting to at like people will have so many questions about your hair. So just be prepared. I mean, people would tell me, oh, people are gonna compliment you all the time. Everywhere I go, I'm stopped and I'm asked, questions about these locks. And yeah, just be prepared for that because it's going to happen every day. Probably every day, you're going to get a question or you're going to get stopped about your hair. Okay, something that no one told me that is critical is you will need a backup loctician. And I waited until I actually needed a backup loctician. Okay, my regular consultant came down with COVID. She was out for the count for months. And I'm just like, oh my God, don't get so comfortable with this godsend of a loctician, that you don't go out and try to seek another that is just as good because you're going to need that backup consultant one day. So get one before you need one. Okay. As soon as you get that install, I need you to start looking for a backup because you're going to need it. One person you cannot rely on for maintaining your hair. And that is what I was doing. So definitely don't be in a bind like I was in. I was fortunate enough to find someone that worked and she was great, but you don't want to be in that position. When you know you're getting these, you need to be working on finding 2 consultants instead of 1. Okay, something that I wish everyone had told me is you think you're lazy natural. When you get these, you're about to become lazy. Okay. I had to wash my hair once a week when I was loose natural. I loathed it. It took hours. I hated it. Okay. So when I tell you after I was done with that wash, I didn't do nothing to my hair until it was time to wash it again the next week. I would just do my little puff, take the puff down at night, maybe slick my edges, just kind of groom but as far as like doing my hair, no, once a week. And that was it. So I was a very lazy loose natural. I did just enough to maintain the health of my hair and to look presentable. That's it. These make you even lazier. When I tell you my lip is poked out because I have to wash my hair once a month. Are you kidding me? Like, how good do I have it where I don't have to do nothing to my hair but wash it once a month? And I still am like, oh my God, it's wash day. And it's not even cumbersome or time consuming. Like, I braid and band, get in the shower, wash 3 times, and then I'm done. I take them. It's like literally a 1-hour process. Okay. What's the deal? Okay. Why am I so lazy about this hair now? It's like it really makes you lazy once you get these because you are going to get accustomed to spending no time on your hair. Wash, retie. That is it once a month, okay? Or 2 months or whatever your schedule is, okay? If you're on an 8-week, that's even better. You've only got to do something once every 2 months, to really maintain your hair. So that's even better. Even lazier is what you're going to become. Okay, now the last thing I wish someone had told me is it is going to take years for your hair to fully lock if you start long and if you have a loose curl pattern. I would say my pattern is about a 4A, B. I think maybe around the front I have a little bit of 3, but for the most part, it's curly, but it's fine and it's soft and it's gonna take, I would say about 3 or 4 years for my hair to fully lock. I'm approaching that 2-year mark now, and as you can see, it's locking from the middle on up, but I'm trying to get in here so you can see it. Like you can see where the lock is locking, like here on up, okay? All the new growth that comes like that automatically just gets locked on up. But the stuff I started with, child, please, we ain't making no kind of progress. Like look how much still has to lock, okay? Look how much still has to lock at almost 2 years. Really? That's crazy. Yeah, so you better bring your patience. Just because, the girl next to you had fully locked hair in 1 to 2 years, that does not mean that's going to happen for you. And I feel like I'm doing everything right. I'm not putting no conditioners in my hair. I don't spritz my hair, every day unnecessarily. I don't get in the shower without a shower cap. Like, I'm following the rules, but my hair is not fully locked, and it's nowhere near being fully locked. It's locking as it should up top, but it's just their process of this having to get, pulled into the lock, as it, shrinks up into the lock like that. I started with 17 inches of hair. Okay. So you can imagine. So that is what is taking so long for this hair to lock. And I wish I had known. I just knew I was going to be fully locked and loaded like within 2 years. Like, come on, you couldn't tell me nothing different. But it is what it is. And when they say that, everyone's journey is very individual, it really and truly is. Okay. But I still look fly. My hair is healthy, it's thriving, and I am enjoying my process, okay? My journey. Now, if you are not subscribed to this channel, I need you to hit that subscribe button and be sure notifications are turned on. Make sure you give the video a big thumbs up if you found any value in the content, as it helps my channel to grow. That is the video for today, you guys. Please drop me a comment below. Let me know where you are in your journey. Also, let me know some other Sisterlock topics you would like to see discussed on this channel. All right. I hope you all are having a blessed day, and I will catch you on the next one.